The Dictionary of Real Estate Appraisal, page 174. Chapter P continued. Power Center. A large community shopping center with more than 250,000 square feet of space, anchored by 3 or more tenants that occupy 60% to 90% of the space. The number of specialty stores is kept to a minimum. Power of attorney. Number 1, legal authority to act on behalf of another person. Power of attorney number 2, a document authorizing someone to act on behalf of another person. Powers of government. Inherent rights of government, including taxation, eminent domain, police power, and cheat. The acronym is PEAT. Practical capacity. A maximum number of vehicles that can pass a given point on a roadway in 1 hour without creating undue traffic density and unreasonable delay. Hazards or driving restrictions. Pre-cut home. A home package consisting of materials that have been pre-cut at the factory to facilitate the on-site building process. A pre-cut home must meet state or local codes, also called prefabricated home, prefab home, or kit home. See also manufactured home and panelized home. Predatory lending. Any of a variety of deceptive or fraudulent mortgage practices, such as excessive mortgage broker compensation, excessive points and fees, selling the monthly payments, balloon payments, equity stripping, flipping, insurance packing, implemented mainly through aggressive sales tactics or taking unfair advantage of a borrower's lack of understanding of loan terms. In the United States, abuses of the mortgage lending practice in the 1960s and 1970s led to the Truth in Lending Act, the acronym is TILA, and Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA. Preferred stock. A share of corporate ownership that has a prior or superior claim when compared to common stockholders, to dividends, and to company assets in the event of liquidation. Preliminary plat. A tentative map, including supporting data, indicating the proposed layout of a subdivision or site plan that is submitted to the approving authority for preliminary approval. Prepaid interest. Interest that is paid in one period but not due until a future period under the terms of the debt obligation. In accrual accounting, prepaid interest is expended as incurred. Prepaid lease. A lease in which all rent consideration is paid at or near the beginning of the lease term. Prepayment penalty. An amount of money paid to a lender as compensation for a borrower paying off a loan before it is due. Derivation of the prepayment penalty amount is defined in the loan documents. It may be a fixed percentage of the remaining balance based on yield maintenance or some other method, sometimes called a prepayment premium. Prepayment privilege, a clause in a mortgage that allows the mortgagor to pay part or all of the mortgage debt before it becomes due. Prepayment risk, the risk associated with a borrower accelerating payments on a loan's principal, shortening the life of the loan. Some loan documents specify prepayment penalties, prepayment premiums, or lockout periods as means of mitigating this risk. Prescription, acquisition of property rights through use of the property. See also adverse possession and easement by prescription. Prescriptive easement. See easement by prescription. Prescriptive water rights. Water rights gained by trespass or unauthorized. Page 175. Taking that ripen into ownership. Similar to attainment of a prescriptive easement. Present value. The acronym is PV. The value of a future payment or series of future payments discounted to the current date or to time period 0. Present value of 1. The acronym is number 1 divided by capital S. A compound interest factor that indicates how much $1 or other unit of currency due in the future is worth today. The present value of 1 is one of the 6 functions of 1 found in standard financial tables, also called present worth of 1. Present value of 1 per period. The acronym is LOCAP A over N and some kind of symbol I'm not used to seeing. A compound interest factor that indicates how much $1 or other unit of currency paid periodically is worth today. The present value of 1 per period is one of the 6 functions of 1 found in standard financial tables, also called present worth of 1 per period or ordinary level annuity factor. Present worth. The acronym is PW. See present value. PV. Preservation. The act or process of applying measures necessary to sustain the existing form, integrity, and materials of an historic property. C, the Secretary of Interior Standards. It doesn't say C, it just says the Secretary of Interior Standards. Preservation easement. C, historic preservation easement. Pre-tax cash flow. The acronym is PTCF. The portion of net operating income that remains after total mortgage debt service is paid, but before income tax on operations is deducted, also called before tax cash flow or equity dividend. Price. Number one, the amount paid in exchange for a good or commodity. Price is distinguished from value because price becomes a fact when the transaction is consummated as opposed to value, which is an estimate. Price number two, the amount asked, offered, or paid for a property. Comment. Once stated, price is a fact, whether it is publicly disclosed or retained in private. Because of financial capabilities, motivations, or special interests of a given buyer or seller, the price paid for a property may or may not have any relation to the value that might be ascribed to that property by others. USPAP 2016 through 2017 edition. Price earnings. It says price earnings P/E ratio. So I'm assuming that's the acronym is P divided by E. A measure of investment performance. The lower the price earnings ratio of a stock issue, the greater the return and the higher the associated risk. Securitized real property typically has a lower price earnings ratio than other types of equities. Price elasticity. The response of either demand, price elasticity of demand, or supply, price elasticity of supply, to changes in price. See also elasticity. Price level. The average of the prices, usually wholesale prices, of selected representative commodities at a stated time, usually expressed as an index number. See also Consumer Price Index, CPI. Price level adjusted mortgage. The acronym is PLAM, PLAM. A mortgage in which the interest rate remains fixed, but the outstanding balance is adjusted according to price level changes. The interest rate on a price level adjusted mortgage is a real interest rate with no inflation premium. On each annual anniversary of the loan, the outstanding balance is adjusted for inflation, and monthly payments are computed based on the new balance. Price-related differential, PRD. In assessment, the mean divided by the weighted mean. The statistic has a slight bias upward. Price-related differentials above 1.03 tend to indicate assessment regressivity. Price-related differentials below 0.98 tend to indicate assessment progressivity, IAAO. End of page.